I used to think something was wrong with me. I'd make plans, get hyped, swear this week would be different, then fall right back into the same excuses. Procrastinate, avoid, scroll, go to bed feeling like shit because once again, I didn't follow through. If that sounds like you, this video might be the wake-up call you need. It's not about willpower, it's not about feeling motivated, it's about building discipline in a way that actually sticks, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Here's what I wish someone had told me about why discipline feels so incredibly hard and how to make it actually work. Let me destroy the biggest lie that's keeping you stuck. Motivation is not what separates disciplined people from undisciplined people. Motivation is actually the enemy of discipline because it's unreliable. I haven't felt motivated to work out in months, but I still hit the gym 5 times a week. Why? Because I have systems that make working out easier than not working out. My friend, here's the brutal truth. Disciplined people don't feel more motivated than you do. They just don't wait for motivation to show up. They've built structures that make the right choice automatic. Think of motivation like your phone's battery. It's nice when it's full, but you need to function when it dies. Systems are like having a charger everywhere you go. They work regardless of how you feel. The biggest lie the self-help industry sells you is that you need to find your why or get pumped up before you can take action. That's backwards. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. When I was trying to build my freelance business, I'd sit around waiting to feel inspired to work on proposals or reach out to potential clients. Some days I felt motivated, most days I didn't. The breakthrough came when I created a system. Every morning at 9 a.m., I'd send 3 outreach emails, period. No discussion with myself, no waiting for inspiration. So I'm about to share the environmental hack that makes willpower completely irrelevant. But first, you need to understand why your current setup is sabotaging you. Most people fail at discipline because they're fighting their environment instead of designing it. You're trying to rely on willpower while surrounded by distractions, temptations, and obstacles. Here's how to flip that script. Ask yourself what friction exists in your current setup that makes it harder to be disciplined than to be lazy. Is it the apps on your phone, the junk food in your kitchen, the Netflix autoplay feature? Your environment should be designed so that the path of least resistance leads to your goals, not away from them. Let me tell you, when I was trying to be more consistent with my work, I removed social media apps from my phone and put my laptop in my bedroom instead of the living room where the TV was. Now, if I wanted to procrastinate, I had to make conscious decisions and take extra steps. Most of the time, it was easier just to keep working. This isn't about perfection, it's about engineering small advantages that compound over time. Make good choices convenient and bad choices inconvenient. Here's something most productivity content won't tell you. 80% of your results come from 20% of your habits. This means you don't need to optimize everything. You need to identify the few habits that create the biggest impact. I spent months trying to perfect elaborate morning routines with meditation, journaling, cold showers, and complex breakfast recipes. I was exhausted before 10 a.m. and burned out within weeks. Then I simplified. Consistent sleep schedule, 20-minute walk, and tackle the hardest task first. 3 habits that changed everything. The magic happens when you identify your keystone habits, the ones that naturally trigger other positive behaviors. For me, going to bed at the same time each night automatically improved my energy, mood, and decision-making the next day. Stop trying to be the perfect human and start being a consistent human. Perfect is the enemy of progress, but consistent is the friend of results. Here's where most people get discipline wrong. They focus on stopping bad behaviors instead of replacing them with better alternatives. Your brain hates voids. If you just try to eliminate something without offering a substitute, you'll feel deprived and eventually cave. Instead of, I won't scroll Instagram, try, when I feel like scrolling, I'll read for 10 minutes. Instead of, I won't order takeout, try, when I want to order food, I'll make a protein shake first. I call this the substitution strategy. When I wanted to stop wasting money on random purchases, I didn't just try to stop buying things. Instead, I created a rule. Every time I wanted to buy something non-essential, I'd put that amount into my savings account first. Suddenly, I was rewarding myself for good financial behavior instead of just restricting myself. The replacement principle works because you're working with your brain's existing patterns instead of against them. You're redirecting the habit loop, not destroying it. I'm really curious about your experience with this replacement approach. Have you tried just restricting yourself versus finding alternatives? Which one actually worked for you long term? Feel free to share in the comments below. Your experience might just help someone else struggling with the same issue. Here's another place people mess up. They start with advanced level difficulty when they should be starting with tutorial mode. I see this constantly with people who decide they're going to work out for 2 hours a day when they haven't exercised in months. When I first tried to get consistent with fitness, I made the mistake of jumping into intense workouts that left me so sore I could barely function. I associated exercise with pain and exhaustion, so naturally, I started avoiding it. The breakthrough came when I lowered the bar drastically. Instead of hour-long gym sessions, I committed to 15 minutes of any movement. Walking, push-ups, stretching, didn't matter. Some days I did more, but I never did less than 15 minutes. Here's what happened. Those small wins built momentum. I started looking forward to my workouts because they felt achievable, and I always felt good afterward. After a few weeks, I naturally wanted to do more because I was building a positive association. If it feels too hard to repeat consistently, it's not discipline, it's your ego. Here's a secret that changed my life. The most disciplined people make fewer decisions, not more. They automate as many choices as possible so they can save their mental energy for what matters. My friend, let me tell you, every Sunday, I spend an hour planning my entire week. I map out my work priorities, schedule my gym time, plan my meals, and block time for important tasks. This might sound rigid, but it's actually liberating. During the week, I don't waste mental energy deciding what to do next. I just follow the plan. I don't debate whether I should work out. It's already scheduled. I don't wonder what to have for lunch. I already decided on Sunday. The question you should ask yourself, how much energy am I losing by fighting with myself every single day about basic decisions? Oh, and quick heads up, I recently launched YouTube memberships, and it's a way for us to connect a bit more directly. Members get things like priority replies and can even pitch in ideas for future content. If that sounds fun, I'd be honored to have you on board. Just hit that join button below. Here's the deeper game. Instead of trying to achieve goals, focus on becoming the type of person who naturally achieves those goals. This is the difference between outcome-based habits and identity-based habits. Outcome-based. I want to save $10,000 this year. Identity-based. I want to become someone who makes smart financial decisions. When you focus on identity, the behaviors become natural expressions of who you are, not things you have to force yourself to do. I stopped trying to be more productive and started identifying as someone who respects their own time. Suddenly, saying no to distractions wasn't discipline. It was just being consistent with who I am. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. The question isn't, what do I want to achieve, but who do I want to become? Here's what most people don't understand about discipline. It's not about the individual actions, it's about the compound effect over time. Reading one article doesn't make you smarter, but reading consistently for a year will transform how you think. I started putting away $100 per week when I was 24. It felt meaningless at the time. $100 couldn't even cover a weekend out. But 3 years later, that boring habit had created a $15,000 emergency fund that completely changed my relationship with money and risk-taking. The same principle applies everywhere. One push-up won't get you fit, but one push-up every day builds the identity of someone who exercises. One networking coffee won't build your career, but consistent relationship building compounds into massive opportunities over time. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. Discipline is about making that trade-off consciously. The final principle I'm about to share is the one that makes everything else sustainable. It's about embracing something most people desperately try to avoid. Here's something that might disappoint you. Discipline is boring. It's not sexy or exciting. It's doing the same productive things over and over until they become automatic. My daily routine looks almost identical every weekday. Same wake-up time, same workout, same work blocks, same evening routine. From the outside, it probably looks repetitive and dull, but these boring systems produce exciting results. If your routine feels too exciting, you're probably not making real progress. Excitement often means novelty, and novelty is the opposite of consistency. The most successful people I know have incredibly predictable routines because predictability leads to compound results. I call this the boring success principle. The people crushing it in their careers and finances have the most mundane daily habits. They don't chase shiny objects or constantly switch strategies. They find what works and repeat it until it becomes automatic. Don't chase the dopamine hit of trying new productivity systems every week. Find something that works and stick with it long enough to see results. Here's how to build your discipline operating system. 1. Environment audit. Look at your spaces and identify what's making bad choices easy and good choices hard. Redesign accordingly. 2. Identify your keystone habit. What's the one habit that would trigger the most positive changes in your life? Start there. 3. Create if-then plans. If X happens, then I will do Y. Pre-decide your responses to common situations. 4. Stack the deck. Make good choices more convenient than bad choices. Remove friction from what you want to do. Add friction to what you want to avoid. 5. Start embarrassingly small. What's the smallest version of the habit that you could do even on your worst day? 6. Track leading indicators. Don't just track results. Track the actions that create results. Remember, you're not trying to become a different person overnight. You're building systems that make good choices automatic and bad choices inconvenient. The goal isn't to never feel resistance, it's to act despite resistance. That's where real confidence and self-trust come from. Every time you follow through when you don't feel like it, you're proving to yourself that you're reliable. At the end of the day, discipline isn't about the goals you achieve. It's about becoming someone who keeps their word to themselves. That internal trust is worth more than any external accomplishment. If you found this video helpful, this next video right here will take you even further. Your choice, your life, start now.